am very anxious right now. I want to tell him about my virginity, but I just don't know how he's going to react.
You got one on
relationship?
We are.
So maybe your firstborn can, have our last name.
Oh, let's not talk about firstborst.
He's like, no.
You know, I said this earlier. I think you're smitten.
Smitten is not a word in the vocabulary of Deanna. Let's just start off there, okay?
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You already know what time it is. Listen, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe. And for those of you who are returnees, you ain't got the minerals, baby. Listen, I get gay. Are you mad? Are you mad? Are you lean? Listen, let's get into the video. We're talking about Married at First Sight. Yes, it's got a little bit more interesting. I'm going to start off with Elizabeth and James.
Burns the inside of my ears when you say lay with my daughter, right?
I think they're the most interesting couple because they're not going to make it. I'm sorry. I don't think they're going to make it. I'm sorry. Here's why. I feel like there's a lot of sexual energy pented up and charged between this couple, but I don't see the true authenticity of intimacy. I said this in the last episode. When I watch them two, I don't see the trueness, the genuineness of a relationship. Why did I say that? When I look at Elizabeth and James, let's start off with obviously James going to speak to the family. Now, James got to the dad of Elizabeth, and what I would say is that Elizabeth's dad, as we saw from the last two episodes, very, very hands-on, very, very, very protective. Not a problem at all. We know parents are protective, we know dads are protective over their daughters. What I would say is though, he goes over the top with dad. First of all, at the wedding he gave that letter, which was passive-aggressive, giving that letter over to Jamie, and then secondly as well, then at the dinner table, just the way he spoke about Jamie and his daughter, he kind of warned him like to keep his lips off his daughter and stuff like that. Just giving that cold reception. It is certainly something that is going to be playing through Jamie's mind as, can I actually really deal with this? Can I actually go through with this? Can I keep on continuing, a relationship with this woman when I know that on my shoulder, the dad, who is considered to be a sweetheart of the daughter, having him on my shoulder, just nagging at me. Can I have that?
Brunch, after I take a minute to let my feelings kind of settle in, I start questioning if it's going to work because it's such a tight-knit relationship with her father. But I'll worry about her dad later. I married Elizabeth. I did not marry him. And I'm ready for our future.
I don't know. So I'm not sure about that. Obviously, in return, Elizabeth obviously met James' family. It was very cool, very easy, very simple. They got on. Obviously, Jamie's mom is a little bit, inner, but I think she's less troubled than the dad of Elizabeth, who just seems hell-bent on making sure that nobody kind of has his daughter, which is ludicrous. But that's the way he feels. So moving on to actually what the interaction between Jamie and Elizabeth. Several times, Elizabeth, first of all, obviously very, very comfortable with her sexuality. Love that. Very, very comfortable getting, in the presence of her husband. Fantastic. I just think there's a level. So obviously, yes, she's stripped, got naked. That was not a problem. We're not talking about that. What we're talking about is her, I believe her focus on, sexually charging up her husband, which is, again, not a problem, but you don't know each other. And so there's no process of time for actually getting to know each other. There's a lot of energy being exchanged in the sexual interchange. And I
think he's really gonna like it. But he doesn't have a lot of little numbers like this, so hopefully this will make him feel good. And he can't wait to take it off of me.
At one point, I remember they were even talking on the bed, and they're just talking to the camera, and he's saying, obviously, exploring, and I think he made an innuendo. She's like, exploring what? Let him know what you're exploring. Da, da, da. I want to know what you're exploring. I want to know, and we know what you're leading to, talking about her body. Now, as much as obviously that's cute and that's sexual and it's lovely, it's tasty, and he says he's sexually attracted to his wife, yeah, but have you got intimacy? Yeah, have you got into the depths of her mind? What's she really thinking? What's her likes? What's her dislikes? What's her pet peeves? Like, we ain't got that out the way. With Donna and Gregg, they already started doing 21 questions each other. They've got 21 questions, and they all about us. So with Elizabeth and James, for me, I'm looking at it like, okay, cool, a lot of energy, but not a lot of intimacy. You know, for me as well, you know, Elizabeth loves a man that takes control, and we see that Jamie is willing to do that.
Yeah, Thompson's the last name.
Thompson, first name?
Jamie.
Jamie. You like that? Mrs. Thompson.
I thought you just took over that. That's so cool.
I know, it's like
Feels so
married or
good.
something.
I know, right?
Weird.
So
When they arrived on for the honeymoon, you know, and Jamie took control of it and just said, "Look, I'll sort this out." Blah blah blah. And she's again sexually attracted to her husband because he does that, and which is fine, because actually, you know what, that is. You know, something that is attractive to a lot of ladies, that a man takes control of proceedings, and a lot of women want that because they want a man to lead, because God says the woman will pine after her husband. It is natural. So we're not talking. That's not a problem at all. You know, he even picked her up over the shoulder, carried her into the room. You know, again threw her into the bed. Again, just kind of showing that Tarzan, that I'm a man kind of thing. And again, just putting that energy out there, which is great, because again, she loves that. What she is though is a daddy's girl, and that's dangerous, because you know what, when you don't grow up yourself and actually begin to understand certain things, but you're a daddy's girl, in the relationship you're about to go into, you're going to cause a lot of harm for yourself and for the partner, because you're a daddy's girl. Because I'm not saying, again, remember I said from the last episode, I said, you know, when she said about the grill situation, about him grilling and not her, it's going to cause attention. Which I believe that will come out in the next few weeks. Not only that, there was a point in section where he asked her, what shall I call you?
Do you like Elizabeth? Do you like Beth?
Most of my friends call me Beth.
Okay. What does your dad call you?
When I'm in trouble, it's Elizabeth. But
Everyday basis, what does he call you?
Beth.
All right, you're Elizabeth.
Okay. I mean, that's your choice.
I know. I just made the decision. After the brunch, I was...
The tone that he actually asked her in wasn't very endearing at all. And then obviously, you know, she said obviously in the end, what did she say? Beth, dad called me Beth, and he said, okay, I'll call you Elizabeth. I don't know if he's trying to get a dig or whether he's just trying to make sure it's opposite of the dad. I don't know. Again, it was something that I think, looking at the situation like, okay, but what's this really adding to the relationship, right? Sparks are flying, which is great as a term for, you know, we're getting on like a house on fire. But sparks flying will lead to fire. And a fire uncontrolled will lead to a lot of destruction. And that's why I see this relationship going. I feel like, you know what, there's just a lot of sexual energy and it's not really matched by the intimacy. So when we see that, then I can actually go, do you know what, yeah, sure, yeah, they're cool.
How do you feel about it? You tell me how you feel about it.
I mean,
Why is it such a thing for you to, like, tell me?
because A, you're my husband, so I feel like this is something you absolutely need to know now. And the fact that, like, I have purposely saved myself for my husband. Like,
Wow.
for, like, 27 long years. Tough years. So that's why it's, like, a big...
Do you know what? I find Keith and Iris very interesting. Again, I'll reiterate, I don't think the mum should have actually said anything to Keith. She should have let Iris have that opportunity to say something. Just because I believe it's a marriage that's between two people, not between you and your mum as well. Your mum may have best intentions, but the moment you became married, the Bible says two shall become one. That flesh become one. It's about you and your partner. The wife will leave her home and cleave to her husband. That is what it's meant to be, not that your mum can get involved at every nook and cranny and every turn. Do you get me? But I understand. So it was interesting that obviously when Keith was meeting the parents, that, you know what,
Of an unconventional way. Tell me the best way that you can make this marriage work. The best way that I think I can make this marriage work is to continue to be a better person every day. 1% better every day has been like my motto since I got out of college, and this is nothing short of that. I'm going to listen as much as I can. I'm a good listener, and if she needs anything from me, you know, she doesn't even have to ask for it. You got my word on that? That's promise. Yes, sir. All right.
on that. But then when you heard him answer like that, he was like, Keith, I like you, man. I can tell you that he can like you. He's like, I like you, man. You know, I didn't want to like you, but I like you, man. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, the guy is a sound guy, Keith. Now, how much he is embedded into the faith of Jesus Christ, Christianity, I don't know, because Iris is very much heavy into her religion and faith. I think they might explore that in another episode, maybe. But we haven't really explored that difference there just yet to really give us an indication in terms of are they on the same page. Also as well, when Iris met Keith's parents, interesting enough, it was a mum who was doing a lot of the talking.
Or there's more, we can do this. Like,
I've got some Adderall in my purse. Okay.
and the dad had a lot of a relaxed position. But when he did speak to dad, you know, he talked with somebody who holds authority. So
What did we say when we first got married?
That we were in it to win it.
And that we were going to do whatever it took to make it work.
Yes.
Now, how old are you, Keith?
I feel like he was just probably standing back on this particular case because of the show, but he's not always that reserved. But it's just the way he spoke with quite elegance and quite strong. And the mother too. I mean, I really appreciate Keith's mother as well. You know, she's a bundle of joy. She's exciting. You can tell that she's nice and friendly as well. And her smile was very warm. So you can tell that obviously, you know, that he's got great parents as well as Iris as well. And so, interesting enough, obviously, when Iris gets there, she's just talkative, and that is naturally her thing. She's talkative. You know, talkative people, you've got to be careful because they could talk for England. You know what I'm saying? And actually never really ask you any real questions apart from the fact that they're talking. And they think they're having a great conversation. It's because they're talking. They're not actually listening. You know what I mean? I love the fact that Keith was mad composed in that conversation with the parents as well. And that's a good sign as well for a man who's can take a little bit and not complain about it and actually move forward. Because marriage is going to be a hell of a lot of complaints, my G, and a hell of a lot of games and a hell of a lot of annoying things that are gonna really drive you nuts. And if you can be patient with the parents, you can be patient with your wife as well. And I really appreciate that. I love the fact that as well earlier on as well, when she mentioned about the secret, mentioned about the fact that, you know what, she's a virgin. He took his time. He said, no, I'm not going to take my time. I'm not going to rush you. And you know what I think, one thing I would say about them two is that every time the camera pans on them, they look natural.
Reveal last night.
Yeah.
After you sleeping on it, how are you feeling about everything?
So for me, it hasn't really, my thought on it hasn't changed. I feel like it's something that I, of course, have to take very seriously. And, you know, I'm just looking forward to you becoming more comfortable with me. It's just going to be about...
They look like they're naturally affectionate. They look like they've been in a relationship for so many years. They look like they're not struggling to get to a place of understanding from each other. Get your appetizer. Every time I see them, they look like they're ready to... They've been married for time, it looks like. So there's always a comfortability there. I love the fact as well, at one point they were packing, before they were packing, you know, they were holding each other on the balcony, and the way they were doing it was just so natural. They came into the room, he even asked her, what do you want to plan to do later on? And she was like, oh, you know, like maybe do this and that, you know, them kind of things. And I saw, wow, Keith again, just saying the right things at the right time and showing us, okay, he's a patient man. Like he said, he's going to be patient. So I really appreciate him being so patient towards Iris. And this, it allows her also as well the freedom to be able to not be so pressurized, thinking that she has to have sex or to be an acceptable partner. But he's allowing her the growth.
You want me to help you with that?
Yeah.
Let's get you right.
Husband, help me.
Yeah, you gotta...
I'm struggling. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Do you think we should have planned for tomorrow?
I just want to do excursions tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like whatever activities we're doing, I want to do that. I also want to make sure we go to the beach.
Absolutely.
Get all that out of the way.
Well, what did you envision your honeymoon?
So yeah, with Keith and Iris, I think they'll go a very long way. They've got a beautiful setup, and they're willing to wait to actually get into that mode, and they're taking their time, and so they're knowing each other by the mind, which will help them build and actually connect in sex on a different level. So, you know, I really appreciate Keith and Iris, and I think they're going to go from strength to strength.
This is nice. My wife has the walls up, but I'm definitely breaking it down brick by brick.
One scene where he's massaging her and she just looks so tense. It's like, yo, girl, you got knots and crosses in your damn back, and I'm trying to get them out, but you're not allowing me to. We see that she's very, very, very walls up. I think at one point when they were making a joke as well at the honeymoon, where he's saying about, you know, you're smitten.
How do you feel? How do you feel about me? Are you smitten? You know, I said this earlier. I think you're smitten.
Smitten is not a word in the vocabulary of Deanna. Let's just start off there, okay? Tchotchkes, yes. Trinkets, yes. Shenanigans, yes.
Smitten.
Smitten, no.
It's a word.
It is a word, but not in the book of Deanna.
Kind of thing. And the way her responses were, like, there was a little bit of joking and banter in there, you know, that's not my vocabulary. But in the end, it just sounded a bit like she is unwilling to bend at the moment. Remember that when she went to the parents' house, she really said that she's stubborn, driven. And he likes that driven. I don't know about stubborn though, but he likes the driven. And so they're both going to be very driven people, and they're both going to be very open to, trying to stamp their authority, I guess, or stamp their marker on something to move it forward. And so I believe that they've got a great partnership coming in. But obviously she struggled a little bit with that flirting, like I said. Maybe, and then, Gregg is quite a bit more adept at that.
But I also want to be respectful to Deanna, being that she hasn't been in a relationship in the past 10 years, and I don't want to be overbearing because it could make her clam up. Let's unpack and...
Obviously, I know that 10 years has been the case for, Donna, and, she has to wait and see. I think not even wait and see, but obviously she's having to, kind of learn again, I guess, as she goes along. And so maybe that's part of the reason why she's so cold, or maybe, no, I just don't say cold, why she's so, walls up. The last boyfriend that she had, I remember I think they did say that it was quite bad. So, obviously the walls are up. She doesn't want anyone just to come into the vicinity. And so I really appreciate the fact that she wants to take that time. I just hope that she's communicating that with also as well, my guy as well, because otherwise it's going to be one way and that's going to be painful.
Being that it's the first night, usually on honeymoons, things happen. But in regards to tonight, I don't foresee romance happening. If it happens,
And I would say that Gregg is ready to go, man. He's ready to go. He's ready to have sex, man. The guy, fam, you mentioned obviously that, on the first night, maybe something could happen, but obviously he's not expecting it to happen. But if it does go down, fantastic. Mama's ready to go. He's ready to go. The burning is real. The Bible says if every man should get their own wife in a sense, basically, if you're burning. You know what I mean? Go and marry if you're burning. Don't stay here. I feel like Deanna's trying to really guard her heart and make sure she doesn't make the wrong choice. And it's tough because you've been out of the game for 10 years, just to trust nobody. But she said to him as well that she is feeling comfortable with him.
So long since I've been in a relationship,
yeah,
the fact that I am comfortable is a very good start, right? Because comfortable is on the path of oh, I like him.
So by the end of this honeymoon, you will be smitten. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
No, that's not a word. That's not a word.
By the end of this,
we will see where we are at.
Man, my wife is very businesslike, but I have a plan to soften her up. It might take a year or so, but that's my goal.
So that's a major step. She may not be smitten. She may not be, the best flirt, if you want to call it, want to call it that. But she is getting to understand these things and seeing, okay, cool, do you know what? Fam, that makes sense. Okay, cool, that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? And do you know what? Okay, cool, I'm going to let my walls down a little bit more. And I feel like because obviously she's been hurt so much in the past, it's difficult to let the hurt, release the hurt. It's hard to release the hurt, do you know what I mean? So that's a big thing as well. I mean, I like their energy, I like their vibe, I like what they're giving off and stuff. It's just a case of the fact that, like I said, it's going to be a madness tomorrow. Tomorrow there's going to be a madness next week in terms of the episode to find out where they're going, because obviously we saw a little cutscene where she said, obviously, you're giving me too much compliments, and again, that comes back down to the walls.
Still feel all right? You haven't given me any compliments today. So Gregg and his compliments are getting 100 a day. I like it, but I don't need a whole bunch.
I don't understand. I don't know how you can like me more if I give you less compliments. No compliments.
You're good-looking guys.
And that always comes down to the fact that, listen, she can't accept compliments, too many of them, because, like I said, if it's been tarnished in your past and someone's abused, these nice words on you, then yeah, it makes sense that when you hear the nice words from somebody who's genuine, you don't fully believe it. You think it's counterfeit. And that's normal because that's human behavior, right? So yeah, so that's me for Donna and Gregg. I feel like they're gonna make it. They are gonna make it. They both love Jesus. They both have a good solid foundation as well. So I really think they're gonna make it, and I don't think they'll suffer. But it's just a case of the fact that anything can happen, man. If someone says the wrong thing, someone could do a red dot at any moment, my G. Any moment. Anyway, listen, guys. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts and feelings are on the episode as well. Please comment down below and let us know what your thoughts and feelings are. Appreciate you. Listen, Little Black Book. You already know what time it is. You know what time it is. Yeah, yes.